Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my November book haul revisit. So if you've not seen one of these videos, what I'm doing is I'm going back to 2021, so 3 years ago, and often 2022 as well, to see, am I reading the books that I'm buying, or am I just buying them to be shelf ornaments? And if I have not read them, I'm either unhauling them or I'm reading them in this vlog and we are moving on, because 2 or 3 years is a long time to be sitting on my shelves, and I'm really trying to take down my physical TBR. So going back to November 2021, I took a break from YouTube, I think, or at least from doing hauls. I'm not sure. From November, like I did in October, in and out, and then I didn't do one until April. So these are all the books that I hauled from November 2021 to April of 2022. So I'm feeling pretty nervous. Because that's a long time. However, at that time, we had just recently moved up here to a new city with 2 little kids. Maybe I got pregnant with my third. I can't remember. Yeah, probably, because April of 2022, she was born August of 2022. So I was definitely pregnant. So I just took a lot of time off. Pregnancy, I feel like, always changes my YouTube. Either I'm way more active because I'm reading way more, or I'm way less active because I'm sick and dying. And sometimes a combination of the two. So that's what happened. So we are going to watch this video that is the haul from November 2021 all the way to April of 2022. And then in November of 2022, I did not do a book haul because I don't think I was hauling anything, because we had a preemie and we had just brought her home in October, and so I don't think I hauled anything. I don't know. I can't find the video. So this is going to be the haul from November 2021 all the way to April of 2022. And so then in December, it'll just be 2022 that we do. Does that make sense? Not to me, but it'll make sense as we go. Just trust me. So I am going to get my handy dandy thing. I won't hold this up because I'm going to have the video playing. So but I will keep track of everything that I have read and unread, and we'll see where we're at. So let's just hope. Let's see how long this video is. Okay, let's see. We've got it. It is 28 minutes. So I'm definitely going to put us on 2 times speed. Some of you say you love it. Some of you say you hate it. I'm sorry. It's just the way that it's going to work. So we're not here for 28 minutes. So let's see. I'm going to pause this and see where the haul starts, and we'll watch it together.
Not that I can tell by Jessica Strasser. So I just recently read it by Jessica Strasser, and I liked it well enough. And this one has a premise that really intrigues me. So this is about a group of mothers who all go to this bonfire. They take wine, they take their baby monitors, and they're all sitting around having telling secrets, having wine, doing whatever. And then one of them, I think, disappears, and we don't know what happened to her. So that sounds really like this suburban domestic kind of drama thriller situation. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm really excited to read it. Next is one I've heard so much about, but is The Other People by C.J. Tudor. So they have all C.J. Tudor's books for $3 at half-price books, and this is one I was most intrigued by. So I bought it because I have never read anything by them. I think it's a her, but I'm not sure. And so this one, I figured I would try this one and then go back and see if they're still there if I really like it. But this one is about a man who is driving on the highway, and he sees a little girl like wave from the back of another car, and it's his daughter saying "Daddy." And then she's missing and presumed dead, and so he spends years searching to find out what happened to his daughter. I think concurrently there's maybe another story of a woman and her daughter running from people who like want to get her because she knows what happened to this man's daughter. I don't really know, but it sounds really suspenseful, really intriguing. Can't wait to try it. Is one that I've heard really, really mixed things about. So I'm kind of nervous. But The Mall by Megan McCafferty.
I've read it.
Megan McCafferty is a writer from like the early 2000s and stuff that writes what I would say, I mean, she's still writes now, but I read a lot of her stuff that was published around those years. And a lot of her stuff now, I don't know that it necessarily holds up. And this book is filled with 90s nostalgia and time spent in the mall. It does say somewhere in 1991. So for me, I was born in 89. So in 91, some of the references may be like stuff that I'm not sure about. Later 90s, I for sure know that. But I don't really know. And I've heard that, some of it is pretty early 90s. I've heard some of it's a little problematic, but I still want to try it just to kind of see, because sometimes like Megan McCafferty, just that like really mindless chick lit is kind of what I need. Next is I Was Here by Gail Forman. So this is about a girl who gets a call that her best friend has committed suicide, and she's shocked by that. And so she goes to her best friend's like dorm room and stuff to clean it out and kind of find out what happened to her best friend. And she finds a lot of things that she did not know about and that she didn't expect necessarily from her friend. So was it suicide? What happened? Was there more to the story? I don't know. Next is This Chunker, Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. So this is a really old book, and it's really thick. But it's about this girl. She's like Miss Popular, and it's Cupid's Day, which I guess is like February 12th. And it's supposed to be like this day that she can celebrate her high status, high social status, but she dies. And then the next morning she wakes up and she relives that day. I think it's said 7 times. So she learns how like decisions she makes can maybe change things, and sounds interesting. Next is another Lauren Oliver called Delirium. This is textured, and I really like it. This one is about like, I don't know, I just went crazy on their clearance section. These are all $3, but this is about a world in which love has become, I think it says like fatal or lethal or something. And so at age 18, everyone is given the cure. That supposedly like stops them from falling in love, I guess. This girl, she is like just about to turn 18 and get the cure, but she meets a boy. And so I don't know, the back says let's see. Now everything's changed. I'd rather be infected with love for the tiniest sliver of a second than 100 years smothered by a lie. So sounds interesting. A YA, I don't know. It can scratch an itch sometimes.
I think it's the start of a series.
Music by Jojo Moy. So
I have read that.
I don't know if I live under a rock or just not paying attention to the right sources, but this is a newer release about a woman whose husband dies, and so she leaves them with like nothing. So she and her two kids have to move to like this dilapidated house in the English countryside, and she learns about picking herself up. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I like single mom stories. I've got two kids. She's got two kids. Maybe it'll be relatable or interesting. Jojo Moyes is very hit and miss for me, so I'm a little nervous. But if you've read this, especially, let me know. Next, we've got one inspired by Nicole, who picked this book. This is one of her all-time favorite books, and this is Chill Factor by Scribd. So I sold this for $3 hardback. It's large print, which I actually really like because it makes me feel productive to like turn pages quite a bit. But that being said, it is 600 and it's over 700 pages because it's large print. So it's a lot of pages to turn, but I'll go good making my progress. So I don't know a whole lot about this book, and I don't really want to know because I know it's a thriller. It's about a bunch of women who subsequently like they kept going missing, and I think somebody who maybe goes to like explore. I think she maybe is the wife of a police chief or something. I don't know a whole lot about it, and I don't want to. So I just want to try this because Nicole loves it so much. Next is The Friendship List by Susan Mallory. So this is about a woman who has a like college, like a 18-year-old maybe son, and he's about to go to college, but she overhears him talking to a friend and saying like, I can't go to my dream college because my mom just needs me too much. And so her best friend kind of makes her a list of things to do to like help her rediscover herself, so she doesn't put so much on her son, I think is what this is. So looks like her and her friend kind of rediscovering themselves. I love women's fiction like that, so this should be great. I also love Susan Mallory. Next, we've got No Place Like Home by Mary Higgins Clark, and this one was inspired by Tara from Buzzwords Books. So she talks about Mary Higgins Clark, not frequently, but I mean every now and then. And Mary Higgins Clark is one of those people that I remember like my grandma reading. No offense, Sarah, like I don't mean you're an old lady, but like she is one of the OGs. She is seriously an OG, and I read just a handful, like less than 5, I would say, of her books, and I really liked them. So I don't know why I haven't picked up more. So I went through thrift books. I was trying to place a thrift books order, and I needed a few more dollars, and so I went through Mary Higgins Clark and to see what they have, and I looked at which ones Tara did not have, so we could buddy read, and this is one of them. So this is about a girl who's like 10 years old and accidentally shoots and kills her mom, trying to like protect her from her abusive stepfather. And it was ruled an accident. Nothing like came of it as far as punishment. But she's adopted, and they change her name. She gets to kind of reinvent her life. But then many years later, her husband decides to buy the house that she killed her mom in. And the media and like the public was really unkind to this little girl and called her like Lizzie Borden because her name is Liz something, Liza. And so then when they get there, there is like spray paint on the grass saying something about like little killer Lizzie or something. And I think there's somebody maybe after them. And like the real estate agent dies and she's blamed. I don't know. It sounds like a lot going on. But I'm hoping to like this. And if not, just dive back into Mary Higgins Clark for nostalgia's sake. Then we've got P.S. I Like You by Casey West. So this is about a girl who's like, again, another YA about a girl who was kind of daydreaming in class and writes lyrics to a song on her desk. And then the next day, the lyrics are like finished. And so she's got like this pen pal that she doesn't know who it is. And they keep writing back and forth. Sounds cute. It's like a really short 300, I don't know, however many YA book. So this will be perfect for the spring and summer when I just need like a palate cleanser. Then we've got the first two in the Winter in Paradise and What Happens in Paradise series.
I haven't read it.
So this is a trilogy that I've been intentionally avoiding. I love Ellen Hilbrand, and like her Winter Street series is one of my favorites, but I read those as they were coming out, and I highly do not recommend that because it was like torture to wait the next year for the next book. So this book I vowed I was not even going to start it until all 3 books are out, and now they are. These 2 were at my library, and they were like either 50 cents or $1. They don't match in size, and that really bothers me, but I figured if I love these, I'll either replace one or the other so they match, or I'll just get over it. I need to get the 3rd one sometime, but I'm really excited. So this is about a woman. I think she finds out like it's called her husband has died, but he's died in St. John, and he has a second family that she never knew about. So she has to go like figure it out. And I don't really know anything more about that. I don't want to know any more about it. I'm really excited to dive in. Then the whole reason I think that I did that thrift books order was because of this book, which is Seeing You Home by Jodi Picoult. So I have read it. Jackie from the channel, I think her name is just Jacqueline, was talking about this book because she is going through IVF, and this book is about a couple who struggles with infertility, and IVF does not work for them, and they end up getting divorced, I think, and then it becomes like a question of what to do with the embryos that are left frozen. She gets remarried and wants to use them, I think, but he doesn't want her to or something. I don't really know. So she was reading this book, and it sounded really interesting to me. But I got it, and it was marked as very good condition. And you guys, it is so water damaged and like gross, and it is like in terrible condition. So I'm really upset by this. I'll probably still read it, but I don't know if I'll read it in this format because it's just not in good shape. Not in good shape at all. So that doesn't happen often with thrift books, but it does sometimes, and it's so disappointing when it does. But their customer service is very good, so they refunded this book, and we'll just give it a shot. Next, we have A Stroke of Luck by Jill Shalvis. And this is
just read that recently,
which I did not know, and it's At Last and Forever and a Day. So I don't like bind-ups. That's why I'm saying it like that, because I just don't like it. I like the freedom to read one book and not the other, and it's confusing because if I read one, does it go on my read shelf, my unread shelf? What do? I feel a lot of pressure to read them both. I just don't like it. And like I love just shorter books like this one is chunky because it's got 2, but whatever. It's about At Last is she has a romance with a park ranger, and then the second one is Forever and a Day, and I think it's a romance with a single dad ER doctor, which are 2 of my buzzwords. So I'm excited to try it, even though I don't love this format. Next, we have some Book of the Month books. So I've got, let me not drop it, The Paris Apartments by Lucy Foley. I read The Guest List. I have not read The Hunting Party, but I like The Guest List, so I picked this one up. This is about a girl who I think goes to her brother's apartment and finds he's like missing. There's some secrets. Meet the residents of number 12, Rue des Amants, a beautiful old apartment building in the city of light. The socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, the concierge. Everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. See you in Paris. So it sounds good. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't want to because I feel like that's the best part of her books. So that I'm going to give it a shot just because FOMO, you guys. This book was bought by FOMO. Next is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. So this is
I've read it.
And I loved In 5 Years. I know not everybody did, but I loved In 5 Years. And this one is about a girl who loses her mother, and they were about to go on an Italian vacation together, and her mother has died, so she goes. And the Italian vacation was because that is where her mother, I think, met her father as a young woman. So she goes on this Italian vacation and meets her mom, but not her mom as she knew her mom as a young woman. And that just is like mind-boggling to me. And especially lately, I've been having a lot of like existential crises about like my role as mom, because my 4-year-old is 4 going on 14, and I'm really getting glimpses of the fact that like I'm the mom. Like I'm the like old lady in this house, and I'm the one that like is supposed to know what's going on. And it's just funny because I don't feel like that at all. Like I feel like I still am like 21. I mean, no, I don't feel like I'm 21. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock every night, but I just think it's interesting, like the way we shift our like who we are as people when we become mothers, like some of the things that just happen slowly over time. And like, I want my girls to know the me I was before them. And so it's really interesting to read this and see like how that works out. I don't know. That may have nothing to do with anything, but there's my therapy session of the day. So these next three are from Forever and Central Publishing, or Grand Central Publishing. They're so kind and send so many sweet books. So thank you to them. And these all just sound so good. So we've got My Husband's Daughter. So this is about a couple who was just living their happy child-free life. They've chosen to not have kids. And then one day somebody shows up on their doorstep and was like, hey, this is your kid, to the guy. You know, the guy's the father, supposedly. So they're like, what? And this woman also is needing some help. So I don't know how this is going to work out, but could you love the child you never knew you had? I think the little kid's like 5 by the time that they come together. So I'm excited to read that. Then we've got The Magnolia Sisters by Alice Murray. So
haven't
this
read
woman
it.
inherits a house in, I think it's like Magnolia is maybe the town. I don't know. But she goes to claim her inheritance, and like she plans to claim her inheritance and then peace out and go back to wherever she's from. However, she finds out she's got 2 half sisters and a hunky like single dad, I think, next door. So it's her romance, and this cover just makes me think of summer and cozy, like outside, like barnyard. Bonfire, thank you, bonfire times. And even though there's no bonfire, I don't know, it just feels good, cozy. This feels like a late June, July book. So I'm excited to read that. And then we've got Just the Two of Us by Joe Wild. What happens happily ever after? And this is something that I talk about a lot on my channel. I feel like is like marriage is not the end. You got like that, Sunshine and Rainbows is not the same as marriage. Like what happens to the love story after the I do's? And I think this one is going to be really exciting. So this one is about after 34 years of marriage, their grand romance has fizzled. They're more like roommates than husband and wife. And she wonders if it's time to give up. And then lockdown happens. And so is that the end, or can they rediscover love? So I think it's really intriguing and really relatable to a lot of people, especially in the past couple years. So I'm really excited and grateful to Grand Central and Forever for sending these books. Next is a whole big chunker pile that I got at Half Price Books. So if you guys can see, we've got the first 8 in James Patterson's Women's Murder Club or something is what it's called. So it's First to Die, Second Chance, Third Degree, 4th of July, The Fifth Horseman, The Sixth Target, Seventh Heaven, and The Eighth Confession. So this is like a 20-book series, or maybe even more than that, by James Patterson about this Women's Murder Club. I think is what it's called. Maybe I'm making that up.
Okay, I'm on number 4.
I love James Patterson books. I love them. And that like their chapters are so short. Chapter 3 is on page 12. Like they're so short and make me feel so productive when I'm reading. And I love nothing more than being able to sink into a series and just binge them. And like I'm not going to binge 20-some books, but these are the first 8, all for $3 in hardback. I'll take it. So, and like, again, those are kind of palate cleansers when I like need just to feel good and productive. That's one of my big like slump tips. If you're in a slump, read a book with short chapters, because just that productivity is like so motivating to me. So yeah, got those 8. But anyway, those are also really easy to find at like library book sales or Half Price Books. There was multiple copies of most of those. And so if I love it, I can keep collecting. But I figured 8 was enough to start.
Okay, so it looks like out of that haul, we have 16 read and 12 unread. Is that right? I think so. So the unread ones are Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver, Delirium by Lauren Oliver, No Place Like Home by Mary Higgins Clark, What Happens in Paradise and Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand, My Husband's Daughter by Emma Robinson, The Magnolia Sisters by Alice Murray, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the James Patterson Women's Murder Club series. So what we're going to do is I am going to read the first in the Ellen Hildebrand series, and I'm going to read the next one, which is number 4 in the James Patterson series, and that's it. I'm not going to force myself to read the entire thing, but I am going to read the next one. And I'm going to read the first one, the Ellen Hildebrand, next one in the James Patterson. Otherwise, we're going to read all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total books in this vlog. Can I do it? We'll see. Okay, so I have my first update for this video. I have read the entirety of No Place Like Home by Mary Higgins Clark. So I am listening to like an audiobook a night because we're Team No Sleep around here with the newborn. So I listened to this all last night and then this morning while I was feeding her. And I am going to give this maybe 3 stars. So I feel like in my haul I kind of gave a good synopsis. But this is about a woman who... now her name's Celia or something like that. She's 34 years old. She's widowed and she's just recently remarried. She has a young son who's 4, but he reads like 8. If you're asking my opinion, he does not read like a 4-year-old. And I have a 6 and a 4 and a 2-year-old. I would say he reads like 6 or 7 at least. But anyway, so she has a new husband and a son and a past that she wants to hide. So when she was like 10 years old or something, she was involved in a squabble with her mom and her stepdad, and she accidentally shot her mom and killed her. And so it was an awful thing. She wasn't convicted of anything. Like, it was just an accident. And so then she moved. She was adopted by some distant relatives. They changed her name, etc. She's really tried to live her life apart from that. And so her new husband has no idea, etc., etc. So he buys her this house and is like, surprise, I bought you a house in a new place and all that things. Like, oh my gosh, how unbelievable is that? Like, what man would be like, hey, I'm going to buy you a house sight unseen in a town that I've never talked to you about, nothing. Like, and how would you react to that? But anyway, so she's like, okay. And it's the house that she grew up in and the house where this all went down. So she goes and moves in with her child and her new husband, and people in the town start dying. And she is kind of looked at because they all are involved in this case. Liza was her name, and so people called her Lizzie Borden. And they all kind of are either connected to our modern day, what's her name, Celia, or the past thing. And so people start kind of looking at her. And so we're trying to figure out what happened, who's doing all these killings, what's going on. I will say that the twist, I thought we were supposed to know that from like page 2. So I was not surprised at all. Like, I'm just not surprised at all. There was like an added element that I was a little surprised about, but not really. And so I really didn't like almost anything about this book. I mean, it was entertaining enough to read, but it was so unbelievable. And so she goes back to this town and lives in this house. And there's a lot of people that still live there because she's 34. So this was 24 years ago. And there's a lot of people that still live there, but nobody recognizes her, despite the fact that she says over and over and over how much she looks like her mom. And this was a huge like thing for this town and just for the community in general. So nobody recognizes her, and she's trying to keep this secret, and I don't know. It was dumb. I am glad this one is going to be off my shelves, and I'm almost done with my binging and hauling Mary Higgins Clark all the time, and I have learned my lesson that maybe these are nostalgic, but maybe they belong in the past. So there's that. The other thing I have started is My Husband's Daughter by Emma Robinson, so I can only get this one physically, so I am on page 109, and this is so fast-paced and so good. I just honestly, like, I'm really in my audio groove because physically I'm just tired and I'm having a hard time focusing and all that kind of stuff. But this has really short chapters, and it's told from 2 different women's perspective. We have Kara and we have Rebecca. So Rebecca is married to Jack or something, and they are both business people, don't want to have kids. They're content with their child-free life, etc. And then Clara and her daughter come to the door, and Clara's daughter is Kara, not Clara. I can't remember her name, but she is Jack's. And so she's like, hey, can we stay here for a little while? Everybody is, of course, really suspicious. Like, why? Like, why would you, the kid's like 4. So it was almost 5 years ago that they were together. And so he's like, why are you showing up now? Like, is this a money thing? What do you want? And we're trying to figure it out. And now 100 pages in, we've kind of figured it out and why she's there. And, yeah, this is really good. I would say this is women's fiction for sure. It's not thrillery. Yeah, very, very good. So those are the 2 things that I've started. I'm going to keep reading this physically, but I'm probably going to pick up something else next for this project. So we'll see you soon. Today is Sunday, November 10th, and the Chiefs play. It's 10:30. They play at like noon, and the sun is shining. So I'm going to try to get all my filming done and then get inside. We all have our first round of the seasonal crud. One of my kids kind of got snotty on Friday. Then now we've got another one. We're all just kind of falling like flies. So just a cold, nothing crazy, but going to be kind of a low-key day and hopefully enjoy some sunshine. So I will check in when I have more to say. Hey everyone. Oh my gosh. It is so windy and it's like 40 degrees and chilly. So sorry for the disheveled appearance, but just dropped my daughter off at her enrichment school, and I'm savoring a moment of quiet. I've got the baby with me, but the other 2 are at home. And there is probably not much vlog footage on this because we have had sick kids. And so I am grateful, I guess. I had prayed at the end of pregnancy that we did not get sick because my body was just like hurting so much anyway that I was not wanting to add that. And so now 2 weeks in, we've got sickness. So the other 3 kids have all gotten it. Only one is still sick. So far, knock on wood, baby's okay. We're going to just hope. It's just a bad cold. My older 2 didn't even get a fever, but my younger one has had a fever for a long time. So we're just keeping on. But I have finished Before I Fall. So by Lauren Oliver. So I'm at drop off and there's still a couple people here, so I might put this down. But yeah, so this is a YA about a girl named Sam who is she's a popular girl in school, whatever. It is Cupid's Day, which is February 12th. And basically everybody sends roses to each other at school, whatever. She's excited for the day. She goes to school, like goes through the day. We really get to see her friend group and her life. And then at the end of the day, she dies. Okay. And that's like the premise of the book. And so she wakes up and again, it is February 12th again. So she has the opportunity to do it again. So anytime you have that Groundhog's Day trope, of course it gets repetitive because she lives the same day 7 times. And every day she is trying to do something better and trying to change things a little bit. And I like that. I like it. It does get repetitive. I almost consider DNFing this at the beginning because her and her friends are awful. Awful. And throughout the book, she has a lot of character growth, which is one of my favorite things. But her friends don't. I mean, obviously, because they haven't had this, it's just an ordinary week for them. They don't have a whole bunch of growth. And so they're just awful. And the bullying and all of that is awful. Like, I don't have another word besides just awful. So I really hated that. I also didn't love, like some of the repetitiveness, some of the angst, some of, like our main character, I didn't actually love her. And so, yeah, but overall, I like this book. If you like the Groundhog's Day trope, then maybe give this one a shot. Knowing it's YA, knowing the characters are terrible, especially at the beginning. And, yeah, so I like it. I didn't love it. I would say probably 3.5 stars. So there's that, another book down. And now I'm reading a nonfiction. So I will come back, hopefully with healthy kids and a new book to talk about. Hey everyone, so it is Thursday and a lot of life has happened in the past couple days. So I'm not sure when exactly it happened, but we had a loss in the family and it just is, it's an expected one. I might have already talked about it, and it's an expected one, but still a hard one. And so now today my husband is leaving because timing is awful, and we still have sick kids. So as of last night, my 2-year-old is still running a high fever. We think she has strep, so we started her on amoxicillin, and we're hoping for the best there. But life is just really lifing. We've got another kid coughing and just a lot of unhealthy kids and really, really poor timing. So my husband is going to go, there's an airplane. That's okay. So my husband's leaving and he's going to be gone a couple days. And so my parents are going to come up and help, but they are actually in Houston right now at MD Anderson because my mom is a cancer survivor. And so she has to be down there every couple months. And yeah, it's just really chaotic. All that being said, reading is still going fine. I feel like I'm in a slump because it's taking me forever to read my physical read, but I'm not in a slump because I'm listening to like a book a night. So I'm just trying to tell myself like, I do believe audiobook is reading. So I'm still reading. It's just taking a different form right now, and that's okay. So let's talk about what we have finished. So I started and finished. Ooh, that's not gonna work out here. Nope. Okay, let's see. There we go. Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand. So this is the first in a trilogy, her Paradise trilogy. So this first one, it is about, you get different perspectives. You get Irene and her 2 sons. And so Irene has this husband named Russ, I think, and he just dotes on her, loves her, but he also travels a lot for work. So we open up the book, it's New Year's Eve, or New Year's, and he's not there, he's out of town, and then she gets notified that he died in St. John in the Caribbean, and that he had a whole nother life she didn't know anything about. So her and her sons go down to the Caribbean and try to figure out what he was up to. And so then we also get perspectives from a woman who works at a bar and like in a tourist thing. We've got, so when he died, he was with a woman. So we've got that woman's daughter, as well as a good friend of that woman and her stepfather. So we get all those perspectives, and the book is just a bunch of interrelationships and trying to figure out what the guy was doing and who's who and how it all works, and I loved it. I read her Winter Street series and absolutely devoured it, and this one feels like the same. Like, I'm feeling a little resentful that I can't just binge it. I hated one of her sons. One of her sons is what's his name? I already forget his name, but what is his name? I don't know. Whatever. He's awful. He is awful. He is married and has a young son, and his wife is leaving him, which is, you know, something you find out in the very beginning, but he is acting as if he's unmarried in this book, and I don't like that. He also hides his identity from somebody, that he's Russ's son, and, you know, he was shady and awful, and at least in this first book, there's no real character growth for him, and I really am giving this 4 stars instead of 5 because I just despised him, and there's a lot of things that made me really angry in this book, but overall, I'm super intrigued and really excited to go on to the next one. So there's that. I'm not going to read the next one for this vlog just because I don't want it to be forever long, but definitely going to read the next one ASAP. So then on to another series, which is giving me anxiety because both of these series I'm wanting to continue immediately, but is Delirium by Lauren Oliver. So this is a YA about a world in which love is like outlawed. And so at 18, you are cured, and basically it's like a lobotomy where they make it so you can't feel feelings. And so our main character is just a couple months out from her, I forget what they call it, like her... I don't know, her like fixing, her curing or whatever. And so she has like friendships and things, and her mom was kind of a rebel against the cause. And she committed suicide, and you know that early in the book. And so she's trying to figure out her place in this world, but also the world is just very, very rule-based. Everything is like music, books, all of that is very highly regulated to be without love. And it's just so interesting. Like, I think it's such interesting commentary on the way we invalidate teens for their feelings. And yes, the feelings are big, feelings are dramatic, feelings are angsty when you're a teen, but that's part of development, and that doesn't mean they're invalid. And I think this is just really interesting commentary on that and the way the rest of society and adults treat teen feelings. And so yeah, I'm loving this. I'm really interested. She's got a friend who's kind of treading toward rebellion, and so what's she going to do there? Yeah, it's really, really, really interesting. So I'm really enjoying this too, and hopefully we'll finish that tonight. So like I said, we're trying to get a couple things done, and then my husband's going to leave. My parents are going to come up tonight, and so I'm going to just try to survive with 4 kids, 2 of which are sick, and 1 is newborn. So yes, pray for me. By the time you see this, it'll be done and we'll be fine. But yes, that's what's going on. So I will update soon. Hey everyone, so it's actually later the same day, and apparently all I need to do is complain about being slumpy physically, and then I finish a book, because I finished My Husband's Daughter, and I really like this book. It was pretty basic, 255 pages, about, I think I talked about it in the beginning, but about a woman who shows up with her 4-year-old at a couple's house and says, like, hey, you're the father, and she has a reason for being there, and we find out what that is. And this is definitely a book that like is meant to be an emotional tearjerker, and it definitely could have been for me, but because it's so short, I didn't feel like I quite got there. And also it's like about motherhood and some tough stuff, and so I didn't really want to like emotionally engage. But overall, I think it was a really good quick read, short chapters, really entertaining. So we just went for a walk, and I got my little hoodlum baby here, and yeah, now we're gonna go in and make dinner and call it a night. So that is it. Hey everyone, welcome to the next day. This morning was the library book sale, and it was awesome. I mean, it wasn't awesome, but it was like not the best, but it was nice. Just it worked out. My parents are here, and we had an awful night last night. Awful night, which of course I kind of knew was going to happen, because with everybody being sick or having just been sick, and like they only want mama. which means I was just bouncing back and forth between kids' rooms all night and barely slept. And so this morning I double dosed on coffee and went, left the big three with my parents and went to the library book sale with the baby, and it was great. She was really content just in the carrier and had a good time. So, you didn't get much footage there, but that's what happened this morning. I think I got like 60 books, including kids' books. I got a lot of kids' Christmas books because they were a quarter, or 50 cents. So that was good. And yes, so now here we are. We're outside. It's almost 5 o'clock, and I just hate that because it's like getting dusky. It's getting cold. Yeah, I don't even need these anymore. I really am bummed that it gets dark at 5 o'clock. But I wanted to get on before we go inside and let you guys know that I finished Delirium, and I like this book. It's a very long book for not a whole lot of plot, so I liked it. Like I said, I think I said pretty much everything yesterday, that love is a disease, and so falling in love, loving things, that's just not a word in their vocabulary, and if it is, it's kind of a taboo word. And her mother died, and like her last words were "I love you," and they can't take that, or something to that effect. And so yeah, so in the end it ends on a cliffhanger, where you need to read the next one. I think I'm going to give this like three and a half, probably strong 3.5, because it's like very YA, and it just got a little out there for me. Like it was okay. It was okay. I really, like, I enjoyed the beginning a lot. I enjoyed the commentary. I'm not sure how this is going to be a 3 or 4 book series, but we'll see. I have it on my list of things to keep an eye out for, but truthfully, I don't know that I need to own this series, because I can't imagine where it's going to go, that like I would be interested for that many books, but we'll see, because I really like the Left Behind series, or not Left Behind, I don't know what it's called, the Terry Blackstock one that I just read, Last Light Restoration or whatever. Anyway, liked that for 4 books, so maybe I like this too. So you guys let me know, should I continue on in this series or not? Does it get better? Does it get worse? What happens? So now my mom she gifted me Purple Carrot meals, which are like a meal delivery. It sends you all the ingredients, whatever, and it was such a good intention, but it actually is like they're like complicated meals and all of that. And so I got a delivery Wednesday, and so last night I was like, hey, do you want to make one for me? And she said yes, and then tonight she is too. So it's really great. Like, I feel like I'm kind of back as a child, because my mom is in my kitchen making me food, and it's lovely. And it just helps so much, because I'm feeding the baby and doing all the other things, and it's just a blessing. Big blessing. So Mom, if you're watching this, thank you. Anyway, so that's it. I'm gonna go in here for a little bit, and I think my husband's going to get home at like bath time tonight, so that's great. We can divide and conquer a little bit if bedtime is rough again tonight and the nighttime is rough. So that's it. I will check in. I'm actually reading my other physical one for this, but I don't have it out here, so I'm not going to talk about it because I'm only like 4 chapters in. So that and James Patterson, and that's it. So I will check in soon, and we'll get this wrapped up. Hey everyone, so I just left the house, and because Jimmy John's gave a free drink, I don't know why, but it is a blessing because I am tired today. So a little Diet Coke is a great thing. Last night we had one kid wet the bed at the same time, like simultaneously. The baby also made a mess of my bed, so I was cleaning like multiple beds and sheets at 2 a.m. and then everybody was up forever. And it was an exhausting night. So got some Diet Coke and went in the game. So now I am about to go home and start 4th of July by James Patterson, which is the 4th in his Women's Murder Club series. And I am optimistic that something good is going to come from it, because I love the first one, didn't love the second, thought the third was okay. But now I have the first 8. And so if I don't like this one, I'm going to unhaul all of them but the first. And so either I'm going to really like the book, and that's going to be great, or I'm going to get rid of 7 books, which either way feels great. So yeah, because I think like gosh, that's really bright. Sorry. James Patterson always has co-authors, and starting at number 4 is the same co-author for the rest of the series. So if I like it, then I will feel hopeful about the rest of the series. Truthfully, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to unhaul them, just because I like reading his books physically, but they're all kind of the same and all a little lackluster. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But it's that and the one I'm reading physically, which I still haven't talked to you about, but I still don't have it. So, that's the plan. And then tonight is the K-State game, and just a relaxing night, maybe. I don't know. I never drink caffeine, so a large Diet Coke. We'll see. I may be up all night. I probably will be up all night anyway because I have a newborn. So, I'm going to stop blinding you, and I will check in later. Hey everyone, so it's the next day and I have finished a book. I finished 4th of July by James Patterson. So I don't know what to do. Like, I was thinking that this book would give me clarity, and it really didn't, because I enjoyed this one. So this one follows, so the premise of the series, if you don't know, the first one, we meet 4 different women who are all in the like criminal world. So one of them is a lawyer, one of them's a reporter, one of them is an attorney, and one of them is a medical examiner. So the 4 women bond over this case that's going on. So I love that part. I love their friendship. I love their lives. We're following their lives as they go on, you know, whatever. And the first one, establishing all that, had a lot of relationship stuff and like the thrillery stuff. And so I loved it. The second and third, I feel like just, I don't know. The third one takes a big twist for the series, and I don't love it. And so this fourth one now, it was about our cop, Lindsay, and primarily focuses on her. And she is involved in a situation with 2 tween teen kids in which they start shooting at her and her partner, and she shoots back. And she had been like not on duty, and so she had a margarita, so she had a little blood in her, or a little alcohol in her blood. And so there's a court case around that. And there's also a serial killer that has been around for a really long time that's kind of been taunting her or hanging over her head, and so she's trying to figure that out. So I felt like this, although we primarily focus on Lindsay, there's not as much of the other people, like the other women. I still feel like we got a good amount of her life and her thoughts and her as all this was going on, and it was a little more of a court case than just like chasing people down. And I prefer that. And so I liked this one. And it reads so quick. James Patterson has such short chapters. I think there's 134 chapters, and it's like not even 350 pages. So I love his writing style, and I think I'm going to continue on. Like I said, now that we've got the same co-author, Maxine Petro, I am hoping that they will continue to be good. I'm hoping the next one follows. Claire, the medical examiner, is my favorite character. I really want more of her. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm not going to unhaul everything yet, but I would not say this is more than like a 3.5 star. So yeah, I feel like almost the chapters are too short because things end really abruptly. And if you listen to these on audio, it is the cheesiest audio ever. Like, there's suspenseful music at stupid times, and this was just a silly audio. So if you are picky about your audio, I don't love these, but they're quick to read physically, so whatever. So then one that I am reading physically is The Magnolia Sisters by Alice Murray. So this one is about like this is the first in a series, and it's 3 sisters who own like a flower farm. There we go. I guess that's what it's called, the flower farm. And one of them, so there's some a uber rich guy and gal getting married, and they want to get married in this town. Now, the reason why is because he's from the town, and he is the ex of one of the sisters. So, of course, she's kind of heartbroken to see him coming back with his new uber famous wife or fiance or whatever. But the story follows actually another sister because this new bride, her brother is very wealthy, and he is wanting to rent out the flower farm for the wedding. And she says no. He starts working there to kind of like get in good graces, and it's the 2 of them, and it's like their hate to love relationship. And I don't love hate to love. I feel like it's this one, I'm over halfway. I think I'm 144 pages out of 260 something. So I feel like I'm not really drawn to the couple. I don't really care. So I don't know. And we're getting the bride and her friendship with the sisters and just the relationship dynamics there, I feel like could use more development. So overall, like so far, this is a 3-star for me. This one is one that I have on my Kindle, and you guys know I'm trying to love my e-reader and I just don't, but I have been watching a lot of Lindsay from She Is Booked and Busy, and she reads like primarily, I think, on her Kindle, and she like is motivating me so much. And so I've put it on infinite scroll, which always helps me to read on my Kindle, and I have read some of this on that last night while I was feeding the baby and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping to finish this today because I have about 120 pages left, and it's really easy reads. I mean, as kind of cheesier romances are. I have the second one on my shelf. I don't think I hauled it in this book I'll revisit, but I do have the second one on my shelf, and it follows the sister that was like heartbroken, and so I do want to read that one. So we'll see. So today is Sunday. We did a little church from home, but you guys, church from home is chaos with 4 kids. It's hard to do anything. It's hard to like focus on anything. So now my big 2 are cleaning their room. Baby's sleeping. My third wild child is somewhere, and I'm gonna go work out, and yeah, that's about it. And then hopefully finish. Chiefs play this afternoon, so that's the plan. I will update either tonight or tomorrow and hopefully let you know that I finished it, and we'll move on. Hey everyone, so welcome to the last day. We have finished, and please ignore my nasty stairs. My kids strip on the stairs and then just leave it. So right now the big 3, I guess, the oldest 3 are at gymnastics with my husband, and I'm here with the baby, making lunch, doing all the things, and yeah, they just leave their clothes everywhere. So anyway, I have finished the Magnolia Sisters, and 3 stars at best for me. This is a very mediocre romance, less than 300 pages, and so a lot is really undeveloped. Yeah, so like I said, I think it's a enemies to lovers kind of situation where this guy has a lot of money and wants to humble himself to woo this girl. And the third act conflict comes from miscommunication, which it always does in these kind of books. And the whole like wedding plot point is so silly. It made no sense. Like, I didn't understand the character motivations. It just was not good. I am going to read the next one. I have it on my shelf. I'm going to read the next one because it follows the sister who like is trying to reunite with her first love. And now that I know more about her storyline, I'm excited to hear it, but my anticipation is that it's going to be like a 3-star. So I'm going to unhaul this one, and that's that. So that is the vlog. Long one this time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Let me know what your favorite November read was.